Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Blondest Podcast. I'm your host, Savanna Boda.
And I'm your co-host, Tyler Jacoby.
And today we're going to talk about a serious topic because I feel like it needs to be talked about. And for me, I'm that person, I block out a lot of bad memories in my life. I think it's human nature when something bad happens to us, like we kind of just try to forget it.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I am. I know a lot of people hold on to stuff, but for me, like I just literally think I gaslight myself into like it never happening, or I just like bury it so deep inside that like it never resurfaces. And then like I sometimes get like flashbacks or like something will trigger it, and then I remember like all of the feelings that I felt. It's like almost like you imagine your like brain as like a filing cabinet and you open a file, you know, and then you find all this paperwork of like all of these memories and like
no, like
things.
I seriously like block it out completely. Like it's like I don't know if it's my like I think your brain does it on its own. Like it's not even that you like necessarily try to. It's just like you literally forget that time period. Like it's like all the details are fuzzy.
Yeah, that's like with wilderness, it feels like a fever dream. And it was like such a long part of my life. I mean, 3.5 months doesn't seem long, but like when you're
there, it felt like 3 years.
Yeah. And like a lot of the things that happened, a lot of the conversations, like just I feel like a lot of stuff, like I really have to focus on it. And then I start to like get memories back, you know, but like I couldn't just sit here and like just like there's little things of course that I know, but like some of like the bigger things that happened to me there, like I feel like it's weird how you're like I remember like more of the like happy parts there than I do the bad parts. But today we're going to talk about your acne and mental health and how it really does affect you, because funny enough, I'm actually breaking out right now, and I don't break out. I haven't broken out. I mean, I did a little with my son when I was pregnant with Cyrus. But you kind of forget, and I love when I break out, honestly, like it's frustrating for sure. But for me as an esthetician and as an acne specialist, it just reminds me of like how my clients feel. And I'm able to put myself in their shoes. And obviously like having 1 or 2 breakouts, I mean, I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, my life's over, you know, but I'm very like, and I hate when people compare pain, and I hate when my clients do that to themselves too. When they're like, oh, well, I'm sure you have clients that are worse. Like, I shouldn't feel bad. I'm like, babe, like this is your worst. Like, this is the worst you have ever had your skin personally. So to you, this is rock bottom. You know, like it doesn't matter if my next client has worse acne than you. Like that doesn't mean that you should invalidate your feelings. Like, this is your worst. This is the worst thing you felt. Like I hate when people do that. And like, yes, I think there's toxic positivity in the world for sure. And like, I see both sides. Like that's the thing about me is I literally, and on this podcast, I'm sure y'all have heard, I'll argue both sides of myself because I see things from all perspectives. Like, you know, like when people are like, complain about something, they're like, oh, there's starving children in Africa. I'm like, okay, yes, that kind of makes you feel like an asshole for a moment for like struggling with whatever first world problem you have. But also like if that's your problem and it bothers you, like deal with it and accept it. And like no one should make you feel bad about that, you know?
I've always had that mentality. I think it's like obviously there's
but perspective. I like perspective though, because that's the side I argue. I do like perspective too, to be like, okay, like it could be worse. You know?
Absolutely. But I don't think like you're wrong for feeling upset about whatever problem you have in your life, because everyone like no matter what, there's always a worse problem. Like there's worse problems than the starving children in Africa. Like, you know, like people are getting like, there's like genocide and like people getting killed and like, like there's horrible stuff all the time. So like, it's not like, you're just not allowed to be sad because
something else is happening. That literally the other day, a girl, it was actually yesterday, posted this influencer that I follow, and she was talking about her dog like got diagnosed with cancer, and she was like, I'm so sorry for like complaining and talking about this when like there's earthquakes in Turkey. And I'm like, why does she feel like that's sad that she asked it? Because you know that she's gonna have some trolls be like, no one cares about your dog's fucking cancer. Like there's earthquakes in Turkey, like people are dying. Like, and it's like, yes, that's so sad, but like her dog has cancer too. Like that's really sad. Like that's really sad, you know? So I see that all the time, and it's hard with a platform too, because you never want to offend somebody. And like I feel like every time I've talked about anything, they're like, oh well, boo-hoo, Savannah, like that fucking sucks for you. Like your life's great. And I'm like, yeah, my life's great, but like I struggle too. Like doesn't matter.
That's the thing. And I always tell Savannah, because like I try to do like both sides of it. Like I'm like, yeah,
like
no, your
me.
problems are okay, but like let's try and reframe the thinking to look at the positive aspects of what's happening.
Yeah.
Because there's always both sides. Like
like when I have a problem with an employee and I'm like, oh my God, like this is the fucking worst. Like it gives me such bad anxiety. Like I fucking hate being a boss.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I'm so grateful on the flip side, I'm so grateful and thankful and blessed that like I'm the boss, you know?
Exactly.
And that I have the power to be a boss and like I don't have to be someone's employee, you know?
Exactly. So.
But it's hard.
Yep. There's always
the grass is always greener. There's always another issue. But we're just today really gonna talk about my acne journey, Tyler's acne journey, and like just the emotional part and aspect of it that people don't realize. And like I said, right now I'm breaking out a bit, and you know, it's something I never think about my skin, to be honest. It's funny, like I do skincare all day long, but like it's not like a negative thing that I ever think about because I usually have really good skin. And today when I was getting ready, like it just made getting ready like awful. Like I was like felt like really insecure and like just frustrated and annoyed and like just kind of brought me back to when I really struggled with really deep, bad hormonal acne. And I felt so bad about myself to where I like would not leave the house.
Yep. I still consistently struggle with acne. So I feel like it's not.
But not like it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Not like it was. But
let me say, because you're my best friend, and they're going to be like, well, why isn't Tyler's acne clear if he's your best friend? Tyler won't do any of the diet shit. It's totally internal for him. Yeah. He has all the products that he needs, but homeboy will not get with the holistic side.
And I also don't like to ask Savanna for treatments, really. Like, she works so much that, like, every, like, month or 2 months or something, I'll be like, okay, like, I really need a peel. Like, if you have time, maybe I can swing by and you can fit me in. But it's just, like, her schedule is booked out, like, 3 months in advance, and I don't want to make her stay after work and stuff like that. So, like, my skin used to be so much better when I was on, like, a bi-weekly schedule.
Yeah, when you're a client.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's like, so I don't keep up with the diet. I mean, I don't have a horrible diet. Like, I don't drink dairy as it is. I don't like eat I don't like take whey protein or like a lot of the big triggers, but like I definitely don't
peanut butter.
I don't eat a lot of peanut butter. I mean,
you
it's
don't
like,
not eat peanut butter.
Yeah, it's true. But I really think that I was missing the toner that I needed. I think it's really going to change the game. Like, honestly, I forgot that I used to like use it religiously, and like I think my skin needs it. So we'll see. But
you look good today.
Thank you. But no, I used to have not the worst. I can't say that because there's obviously much worse. But I used to have really severe cystic acne, like all over my face. Like, have been on Accutane once. I think I thought about doing it a second time, and then I didn't.
Oh.
I think I went to the appointment to get put on Accutane again, and then they were like, okay, you have to go do a blood test, and then I never scheduled the blood test, and I never went back to the dermatologist. So.
Oh, good.
But yeah, definitely went on Accutane once. Didn't finish the course treatment because I had college auditions for Viola going on, and it literally turned me into like a geriatric, maybe not the right word, but like crippled old
person.
Man. Like, it dried out every joint in my body, and it was not conducive to me being able to play my instrument. But I mean, it's like sometimes, and that's the thing, like talking about like forgetting what it was like I look back at pictures and I'm like, I like can't believe that, like, I don't even remember my skin being that bad. And I remember, like, that's the thing, is like, that's why even now to this day, like, I don't like taking pictures. I don't like I don't know. It's just like I feel like it's an insecurity that lives on even after.
Yeah,
you
it's a fear of
get
like
it clear. Yeah, and so it's just like it affected so many things. It really did. It's just like, and also
it's hard for men too because you can't cover it up.
Yeah, and I feel like so many. I mean, I don't know if it was just me or the school I went to, but I swear to God, 99% of kids in Flower Mound have great skin. Was it like that at your high school?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Like, I swear everyone I went to high school with had really great skin. And I felt like the only one who had like this like severe acne. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, but I was born with it.
I was born this way, baby.
Yeah, no, exactly. But so that's why I like went to the dermatologist, got an Accutane. But I am grateful for my skin now. It's still, I mean, I get like 2, 3, 4 pimples.
But they're not cystic anymore.
No, they're not cystic, not at all. It's just like but my I'm so pale, and my skin like always
it pulls a lot of redness.
Yeah, it's so red. I mean, my skin is red anyways, and going back to the laser, I'm excited for this laser to get rid of that fucking redness. But my skin, if it has any inflammation in it, it just like really exacerbates that redness. So and then it's like hard now, especially when I get a breakout or something like that, because I'm like taking pictures with Savanna, or like she wants me to come in for a treatment and so she can record it. And I'm like, well, I have like fucking so many big pimples and it's like such an insecurity. I'm like, I don't want to be on video. I don't like, it's just embarrassing. And it's something that
I never want you to be on camera if you feel insecure. You have to tell me these things.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, I know, but it's like, it's your job, you know, and like I feel like, I don't know. You're right. I should, but I mean,
I never want you to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's only like it's not obviously every time. Like most of the time, my skin's behaving, but there have been like a few times where I'm like, my skin really is not looking hot right now. But yeah, it's just crazy because I think that because my skin was really like that from freshman year until like senior year. Like I think like midway through my senior year is when I started taking Accutane, and it did clear my skin. I will give it that. It cleared my skin.
But all the side effects were awful, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then I didn't finish the treatment course, so it like came back. But having it all of high school and like being so insecure throughout all of high school, because I also did weigh like 90 more pounds than I do right now. And just like the mixture of that, because everyone in Flower Mound had great skin and was like super skinny and like fit, and like it was just like, and so because of that, like when you're talking about like forgetting it, like I feel like I don't remember like 90% of my high school experience. Like I don't know if
that's
like
how I am. I blocked it. Well, I mine because a lot of bullying and depression, and I just like.
But it's like I can't even like picture most of high school, and it was just I don't know. And the crazy part is like, looking back on it, I also realized that like it doesn't define you. Like I had so many friends. I had so much like I was hanging out with friends every day. I had like, it's like people didn't not want to talk to me because I had acne, you know, and like it's not like it affects me now. Like I have friends who still have like not severe adult acne or anything like that, but like it's like you don't even see it when you know someone and stuff like that. And I think it's really hard to realize when it's you. And obviously you want to get it clear and you want your skin to be healthy, but I've learned that it's not like the end of the world, and you have to accept, especially like, because for you, it was hormonal and it was stuff like that. And like, obviously you weren't using the right products at the time and you were stripping your skin and stuff like that. But like,
oh yeah, which we'll get into my story after ties. It was bad.
But like, as someone who's very acne prone, it's like something that I've had to accept and know that like, yeah, I'm going to occasionally break out. Like I can't.
And that's normal. And we all know acne is controlled. It's not cured.
Yeah, exactly.
It's genetic.
You know what? One day they're going to cure it.
No, like they'll can't talk. Like they'll cure cancer.
Hey, you know what?
I think they might cure cancer before they cure acne.
Well, I'll support that.
Right?
I think that's better.
That is better.
Yeah, I'll get on board with supporting that. But for now, yeah, it's something that I've had to accept, and it's still really difficult. Anytime I get a breakout, it's like I don't want to go out. And I've told that to Savannah. Like, I think it was like a month ago, for some reason, like my skin like freaked out, and I had like
a date.
Yeah, I had a date, and I had so much like I had probably like the most pimples I've had on my face in like 4 years. And I was like, I don't want to go out. Like, I don't want to go do stuff in Dallas. I don't want to like, I'll come over and like watch a movie, but like, I don't want to do anything. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like,
it affects you. It's so hard when you don't feel your best self. You can't be happy. You don't treat others the same. Like and that's kind of what I wanted to get into, was it wasn't even only like my own depression, but I put it on other people. Like, I was mean to Lance. Like, we were dating when I went through my acne spill, and I just was like isolated myself. I stopped hanging out with friends. Like, I bailed on plans. Like, or if I went on plans, like the whole time I was in a bad mood because like my mind was focused on how ugly I was and how bad my skin looked, and like how I just, I couldn't enjoy anything because I was so hyper fixated on my skin. And like, that was literally, didn't matter if there was like a fucking unicorn like galloping in front of me. Like, the only thing I was thinking about was my skin.
Absolutely.
And I was so depressed, and it was so hard. And I tell this story about my husband and I, when we were first dating. It was our first year anniversary. We were supposed to go to Cheesecake Factory. We ended up getting Chick-fil-A. We were supposed to go to Cheesecake Factory, and I remember I was having a really bad skin day, and I was sitting down at my vanity and, got my close-up mirror to start my makeup, and I started like picking my skin. And all of a sudden, like, my phone was on silent. I hear like honk. I don't want anyone to be like, why was he honking at you? Like, that's so disrespectful. But like, my phone was on silent, and like, he had like apparently like been there for a hot minute, like waiting to pick me up. And so he honks outside, and I'm like, what the fuck? I flip my phone over. I'm like, what time is it? It's like 30 minutes past when we were supposed to leave. He's like, 15 texts. Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? And I like look in the mirror, and like,
your face is,
I wasn't even ready. Like, I like completely like dissociated and like lost track of time, and like just was picking. Like, it felt like it had been 5 minutes, but like when I looked at the time, I'd been doing it for like 45 minutes, almost an hour.
Yeah.
And I was a big picker. Like, that was my big thing. Like, I picked the shit out of my skin. Like, it took me, I was even an esthetician when I still was picking. Like, it took me a while for me to stop.
I'm so surprised I don't have like textured scarring, because
I did, and I still do. When people look really close, I have like little picks and scars like on my cheeks.
Do I? I don't think so.
A little bit on your right side.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
I used to be like a horrible picker, and I had like cystic acne too. Like, it would like, okay, graphic, but it would like splatter the mirror when I would pop that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you get you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that shit in your eye when you're popping people's pimples.
All the time. I have one really bad in my hairline right now from this new hair oil I'm using. So I'm just going to be bald. It's fine. But I have to pick. Do I want hair acne or do I want to have hair?
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Then Lance was like, where are you? Blah, blah, blah. I texted him and I was like, I can't go. Like, just go home. Like, it's okay. And he's like, no, I'm going to come inside. Like, what's going on? I start like crying.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he's like, you're not ready. Like, what's going on? And I was like, my skin's awful. Like, I feel so bad about it. Like, I can't go. And like, please, like, no. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go pick up Chick-fil-A, and like, we're going to watch a movie, and like, we're just going to cuddle, and like, it's going to be fine. And, I like hated my skin so much that like I would wear a face mask all the time. Like, not like a COVID mask, but like literal like skin face mask. And like, I used to wear that like the entire time Lance and I would hang out because I didn't want him to see my skin.
Like a sheet mask?
No, like just like face
like
mask.
A mud mask?
Or, like a mud mask, clay mask, or like, I used to use the Tatcha one all the time, the purple one. Yeah. Like or a Lush face mask. Like, I would put on a face mask and wear it like the entire time we hung out because I didn't want him to see my skin. Like, I felt so insecure, and so I like wanted to hide it. And I ruined our first year anniversary because I was like so insecure about my face, and like picking again like was such a big thing. Like, my skin already like was bad, but like picking just made it worse and just exacerbated the problem and spread bacteria and like caused more issues than were there. Yep. And it was just really difficult for me to stop picking. And like, my best advice, like what helped me stop picking, was being busy, honestly, being so tired that I didn't have the time. Like, if I had free time, I'd come home. Like, I would get excited like to leave school and come home and wash my face and get in my close-up mirror. Like, I was addicted to it. Like, it was so much fun for me. Like, and I would like, all of my thoughts in my head would just stop. Like, I would just be so hyper fixated on picking my face that like everything around me just stopped. Like, the world literally stopped. And I used to have a picking issue when it came to my hair. Like, this is so embarrassing, but I had like bald spots in middle school because I'd like pick my split ends like all the time. Like I'd sit and just like pick my split ends, and I literally would get up from my chair and like underneath my desk would just be like a pile of my hair.
Yeah.
Like on the ground.
It's not the worst thing.
I know, but like
probably shouldn't do it. Some people I knew this girl in high school who like picked her eyelashes.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. It's such a mental health thing. I mean, it's so sad. I mean, I did it with my cuticles when I was an esthetician. When I stopped picking my face, it switched to me picking my cuticles, and like to the point where I would literally make them raw.
You did that for a long time.
You remember this?
Yeah, well, you still did it like whenever Adriel and I were there working for you. Yeah, you don't.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, you'd still be like, you just like mess with your nails for like so long.
Yeah, I'd like peel the skin like, off my fingers to where it was like raw. Like I'd literally just peel all the finger skin I had, and like literally just peel all my cuticles where they're like burning and bleeding, and like all I know this is so graphic, but like I literally have always had such high anxiety, and like I'd hyperfixate on something. So, at a young age it started with my hair, and then it went to my skin, and then it went to my cuticles, and like I don't know, I just stopped. Self-destruction, Yep. It's a thing. Dermatillomania is like the professional term for it. And that's when acne picking and all that fun stuff.
I did not know that. But yeah, I think it definitely takes time I don't know if I had the maturity when I was younger to like.
Or self-control.
Yeah, exactly. One, accept it and, not hate myself for it, because like, again, it seems like when you're that acne prone, all the people that surround you have like perfect skin, or even if they do have pimples, like it may not be like you're like, oh, I would die to just only have like 2 pimples. Like,
but it affects everyone different too,
exactly.
And even like for them,
like exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like, it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So when I started struggling with my acne, so I always had struggled with depression and anxiety from a really young age. And I've talked about this a lot on podcasts about my mental health and just everything I went through. And so like getting acne, like kind of just snowballed that and made it like 10 times worse. And I always say this, but there's something we all have about ourselves that we like love, like whether it's like your nose or your hair, or like maybe you like have a really high metabolism and you're just like can eat whatever you want and like you're super skinny. Maybe it's your body. Maybe it's your eyes, or you have super freaking long eyelashes, or like some really good brows. Like I know it doesn't matter how insecure you are, there has to be one thing that you love about yourself. And for me, it was my skin. Like I had the best skin and I loved my skin, and you take it for granted, right? And so when I lost my skin, I always struggled with my hair. I always struggled with my weight. I always struggled with like a lot of things, and my skin was my one thing. So when I lost that, I like spiraled, and like I didn't have one thing I loved about myself anymore. Like that was gone. Like the one thing, my saving grace, when I'd be like, oh, I'm kind of fat. Well, at least I don't have acne. Yeah. Oh, I have bald spots in my hair. Well, at least I don't have acne. Like at least I have good skin. Like that's one thing I have going for me. And so when I lost that, I lost so much of myself, and I just started to like completely spiral. I stopped going to classes. I stopped hanging out with people. I stopped having friends. Like, and the reason I started picking was because I knew with makeup as a woman, like I knew it would scar my face, but I was like, at least I can cover it with makeup and it won't be like bumpy, like, and so that was my thought process. Like if I have like a bump, like people are going to see it, but if I like just pick it, like pick it off my face, like it'll just like I can cover it with makeup,
And there's still a bump after you pick anyways. The inflammation doesn't go away when you pop it.
Yeah. So counterintuitive for sure. But that was like my thought process when I was like
16.
No, I was 19 when 19, this happened.
Yeah, that's right.
I was 19, 20, 21, all through my like early 20s. But yeah, so it was really difficult for me. And that's actually why I became an esthetician, was because I was in nursing school when all of this happened, and, dating my husband, and I always wanted to help people. I loved chemistry. I've always loved science. Like it's always been like my number one thing that I was interested in, other than history. I love history. And when I was in nursing school, like, first of all, it fucking sucks. I was so depressed. Like, I hate taking prerequisite classes. Like, it's the worst. I accidentally like got into a music appreciation class that was like so hard. Like I thought it was supposed to be like a blow off easy credit class. No, bro. Homeboy had a like I know everyone in there had an instrument. Like literally everyone like was like in the music program at TW. Like everybody. I was like the only person that was like, oh, I thought this was like a blow off class. They're like, no, like this is like really hard. So hard. I had to like analyze sounds of like drums, like and bongs and stuff.
Yeah, music classes aren't the easiest.
It was so fucking. It was a hard. I'm telling you, it was harder than my chemistry class.
I can get that.
It was the hardest class.
You're also not a musical person.
No, it was literally the fucking hardest class. I literally like was so depressed. I was like, why the fuck am I in this class? Like I thought this was supposed to be like an easy class and it was not. And the professor was fucking batshit crazy. But anyway, I then, started to do everything. I mean, I was off my parents, but you're tired. Damn.
No, I can't stop. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Am I boring you?
No, you're not. I promise. It was just a late night, early morning.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You just yawned like 8 times in the last 2 minutes.
I can't stop. It's like I have the hiccups right now, but with yawning.
It's okay. I forgive you.
I think it's because I don't have water. I wonder if he has water. Does he have water?
Yeah, I'll tell my story. You go find some water.
Okay.
Or go take a nap.
No.
See you on the flip side. But when I was struggling with my acne, I would literally Google like top acne products and then I'd go to Walmart and I'd go buy it. And then I'd go to the next one. Like I literally like the top Google search list. Like that's what I would do. And I was off my parents' payroll. Like my parents didn't pay for anything. So I was like a broke waitress, and skin stuff, as y'all know, so expensive. And it sucks to buy something and then like it doesn't work. And at this time, Instagram, like nobody was posting like super educational stuff on Instagram or, giving out free info. And so that's why with my platform, I really value putting out information because no one really did that. And like, I hoped that there was somebody that I could, have listened to, like a professional, and not just like these weird YouTuber influencers and like random articles from like Harper's Bazaar and like just, shit on the internet. Like I wish that there was an educational resource, but there wasn't. And when I first started doing educational charts, a lot of estheticians were mad at me and they're like, no, like clients aren't going to come to us now. Like, why? This is our like information. You're just giving it out for free. Like, and you're stealing clients for like giving this information out. Like people aren't going to come to us because like they should come to us for this information, like in their appointment. Yeah. You're just like fucking like throwing it out for everyone to see on the internet. And I was like, well, I also get that. Like, I don't care. Like, I always want to be the person that I wish I had when I was struggling at that time and putting out information like that. And so, a girl I went to high school with was an esthetician. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go see her, see what happens. And she wasn't an acne specialist. She wasn't bad, but she just didn't know anything about acne. She's just an esthetician, that worked at a med spa. Like she had no acne education. And so she told me like I needed to do like hydrofacials and it would clear my skin. She told me to like do skin pen over active acne and like it would clear my face. And like now that I'm an esthetician, I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? What are you doing? Like, what is that? You don't microneedle over active acne. That's like the worst thing you could do. But again, like I didn't know any better. So I was like, whatever. And my skin just got worse seeing her. But I am thankful for her because she opened the door for me to see that medical estheticians were a thing. Like she was doing lasers and microneedling and like chemical peels and hydrofacials. And like, I didn't know that like world existed. Like when I thought of an esthetician, like I quite literally thought that they were like doing like putting cucumbers on your eyes and giving you like a neck massage at like a foo-foo spa. Like, I mean, you don't know until you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just all I thought you could do. Like, I thought that was like it. Like I thought,
you didn't think it was going to help. Like with
I just didn't think that you were able to do like lasers and like chemical peels. Like I always thought the people that did that, like in my head, were like dermatologists or nurses. Yeah. Like I didn't know that like you could go to school for 7 months and like operate a laser,
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Which is actually in Texas, like 2 weeks and you can operate a laser, which is so scary.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know that was like even like a job, like an option. Like I know medical esthetician existed. So when I found that out, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. I can do all this. Is cool. This is like still medical and I can help people. And I wanted to figure out my own skin, quite honestly. So when I enrolled in esthetician school, I still struggled. It took me until I became an acne specialist with Face Reality to really understand acne and understand my own skin and balance it. And Skin Better honestly saved my skin. Like Skin Better saved my skin. And just knowing my triggers and how to balance my skin and not strip it. Like, when I was going through it, I just thought if I just stripped the ever loving shit out of my skin, like all my acne would die.
Yeah.
Kind of almost like chemo for cancer. Like just kill everything,
Yeah.
right? Just dye everything off and it'll eventually kill the acne. Like that's the way I felt. And obviously, like when you strip your skin, like all you're gonna do is produce more irritation and more acne. And when you strip the skin, the body's gonna overcompensate and overproduce oils. Like it's just there's so many things that I've learned. And so now when I do get pimples here and there, like I still get a little sad. And I'm glad I get them because it's able for me to show my platform and show like I am human. Like I still have pimples. Like I don't know why everyone thinks I have perfect skin. Like I still have scars. I still have pores. Like obviously you're not going to see it from like the camera. Like you have to get like really up close on me, but I still have insecurities about my skin. And nobody's perfect, and you have to love yourself at the end of the day, and you can't let acne get in the way, a temporary problem get in the way of, you living your life. But then if it does, like, I also understand it because I did the same thing. And like, even today, I feel bad about my face and like, don't feel as happy as I should because I'm breaking out,
And that's okay.
Yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think just like, I obviously would recommend seeing
me.
Savanna, only Savanna. But no, I mean, I think it's great that now there are so many resources out there. And like you were talking about earlier, like where people are saying like you shouldn't be sharing your knowledge online. I think that's bullshit. I think like there's like the people who can afford to see an esthetician regularly is way smaller than the amount of people that struggle with skin conditions. And I think that like you're doing a really great thing by sharing your knowledge with a lot of people, because it's not cheap to go see an esthetician by any means. I mean, there are different price points of different estheticians, but I think that it should be allowed to, like, you shouldn't gatekeep knowledge on how to take care of your skin. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
I agree.
To be quite honest. But I mean, if you have acne and it makes like you antisocial, it makes you not want to go out, or it makes you insecure, like I think that's totally valid. And like I said earlier, the thing is that the people who love you in your life don't even see it. And like that's something that I have to remind myself, because like if I'm breaking out, I'm like, Savanna, I'm like, I can't do it. And she's like, it's like, I don't even notice it. Or like, oh yeah, I notice it now that you pointed it out, or like stuff like that. That's exactly what I told her today too. Like I came over this morning. I haven't seen her since Monday, which is a really long time for us to go without seeing each other, like a whole 6 days.
Cyrus doesn't even know who you are anymore.
That's bullshit. But she's like, I'm breaking out like right here and right here. And I'm like, I really wouldn't have noticed it. And I think it's something that it's difficult when you're going through it, but
yeah, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And just know that there's help out there. And
yeah, I definitely always recommend seeing an esthetician, especially if you do have like skin concerns. And I think that if it's something that actually affects your mental health, it's definitely something worth investing in, because like there's no price to your happiness. I really believe in that. And I believe that like what you invest in yourself, you'll get out. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So, but love yourself regardless. Everyone struggles with insecurities. I mean, if it's not someone's skin, it's something else.
Yeah.
Like no one, and God, if you're out there and you feel completely perfect, like power to you, because damn, I wish. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think this was good.
I agree. Yeah, it's a good thing to open up and talk about, because I think it is, a lot of people think skin is a vanity thing, and it's not. I think it really does affect, our relationships. I think it really affects our work life. I think it affects every aspect of our life. You know, when you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to be as happy. You're not going to be as cheerful at work. You're not going to be as nice to your partner. I know when I didn't feel beautiful in my skin and stuff, like I was not as wanting to be around my husband, around Lance. Like, I felt very insecure and I felt very like isolated and I suffered alone. And I didn't want to go out and meet friends. I didn't, I really isolated myself. So 100%, it really does piss me off when people say, and it doesn't even have to be acne. It could be hyperpigmentation. It can be scars. It can be whatever it is about your face that you don't like 100% can affect you and affect your life. So yeah, I just think people need to be more conscious of what they say and stop being like, oh, you're being so vain. Like, who cares? Like, it's just acne. It's just pigment. Like, whatever. Like, no, it's really is. The face is the first thing everyone sees. Yep. It's a huge deal. Mm-hmm. And, it does affect our lives.
Yep.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode and we love you so much.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.